Hey everybody, welcome back. So if you're using DOS Trader Pro and you find yourself day trading or momentum trading and you enter a stock, you're planning on a quick exit, you just need a little bit of profit, and that profit starts gaining, you're up 10 cents, you're up 15 cents, you're up a buck, and then all of a sudden it just drops and you wish you would have got out. You wish you would have saved some of that profit, even if it's only half of the profit. This shortcut is going to show you how you can create a hotkey that enters a stop limit order between your average price and where the price is moving to. And it's not really a true trailing order. It's a mechanical trailing order that you're in control of, and it'll stop your price from falling down and turning into a loser. At least you'll get a small winner. So I'll run you through the code. Okay, so right now I've got this set up so that I've got a sell trailing middle and a sell trailing stop button. If I right click on these, I'll just show you how I have these set up. So this is executing the hotkey sell trailing middle, and the other one's sell trailing top, or sell trailing top. And that's really all I've changed in the dashboard. If you haven't watched any of the previous videos in this series, probably a good idea to go back, just because it'll give you a good foundation for what I'm about to show you and show you how we built everything we see here. So that's all I've changed on the actual layout. So we'll just go to the code here. So object init trade is a script that we created in a previous episode. We're just adding 2 lines to it. So we're adding to the trade object, we're adding trailing profit price, setting it to 0. And trailing profit spread, setting it to 10 cents. So again, this object init trade, any init scripts are loaded when DOS is first loaded, so that there's a basis for these objects, as well as all their defaults going into starting to trade. So these are basically just the defaults as we start here. And then by ask, I'm only adding 1 line to buy ask. Again, this is a script we've created in a previous video, and that is just resetting the trailing profit price to 0. So if we're buying, we're resetting the basically where our order is expected to decide whether or not it needs to create another order to climb higher. We're just setting that to 0 because we're buying more stock, so all bets are off, we're starting over kind of thing. Then sell trailing execute. This is a new script, and this is where all the magic happens. So basically, if the trailing profit price is less than the price to sell, we'll get to the price to sell in a minute. So if the trailing price, if you remember, we set that to 0 in our init script, which would mean that this would be true the first time it runs. As long as the price to sell is greater than 0, this would run. Then we're checking to see if the position in the montage window is greater than 0. So are we carrying a long position? If we are, and if the bid in the montage is greater than our average, so basically, are we in profit? And as long as we are, then this hotkey will function. If we're not, it just ignores the whole thing. Okay, so then our trailing profit price is going to equal our price to sell. Again, we'll come back to the price to sell in a minute. There's a couple more scripts where this is set. So let's just say this is $10, just for running through this. So if the price is currently at $10 and we're wanting to sell at that, it sets the trailing profit price to $10. So if you were to run this a second time, if the price to sell was still $10, it would no longer be less than the trailing profit price, it would be, if it was the same, this would be false. If the trailing profit price was less than the price to sell, meaning that the last time we clicked this hotkey, it moved our stop up. And then if we click it again, we don't want it to go down. We want it only to go up. So if the price starts falling into it and we hit the hotkey again, we don't want our stop order to move. So that's what that logic prevents. Otherwise, if you hit it again, it might jump the stop down and now you're into less profit. So we want to make sure that whatever profit marker we've already put there, it's maintained and doesn't go any lower. We set the trade win style. or the trade window style to stop. I don't think that's necessary, but I've done it since the beginning of DOS coding. So it gives the overall montage some different options. But I believe even if we don't do that, the options are still functionally there if you're using code, but they're just not visually there. So anyways, I add that line in there. We set the symbol to the 1 minute chart symbol, which is what I'm trading off of. We set the price to equal the price to sell minus the trailing profit spread. If you remember in our object init trade, we set that to 10 cents. So basically this is taking the price to sell, which we said was $10, and it's making it so that 10 cents lower than that. So $9.90 is where the price would be. The stop price would be $10. So as soon as it hits that $10, it allows it to drop 10 cents. You can change those settings to however you like to trade. I find this works well for me. Often I'm going through center point securities. I don't have much slippage when it comes to this, as long as I'm trading something that has a lot of volume. We're setting the route to stop. We're checking if it's regular hours. If it is regular hours, we're setting the limit. If it's not regular hours, we're setting limit P. Again, this was all configured in previous episodes. If you're wondering how this logic works, go back and have a look at those. Montage window shares, we're selling the number of shares to sell, which again is set at the same time we're setting the price to sell, which we'll cover in a minute. Setting the account number, setting the time in force to day plus. And then here's something creative that I do. I used to actually always just cancel all symbol sell and then send a sell order. The problem is that's a lot of activity, and sometimes it creates a little bit of a delay, and that delay can actually cause the order to be removed, canceled, and then recreated. But in that second that it does that, the price can fall through the level and it can actually not work anymore. And then you're selling using other hotkeys because, again, this one won't go any lower. So as a result, if it's already fallen through that level, it's useless to you. So what I do is I check, and this doesn't work on replay mode. It's after hours, it's 11 o'clock at night. So when I show you how this code actually functions, and an example here in a second, this doesn't work properly in the replay mode, so I had to adjust a couple of settings to get it to work. So just so if you're testing it in replay, you understand that get order object doesn't grab any orders that were placed in replay mode. It grabs your last orders from the last session, so that doesn't really help us out. So anyways, as long as you're trading within between 4 a.m. and 8 p.m., this will work. So it checks the order to see if grabs the last order. It then checks to see if that order is an object. It then checks to see if it's accepted and if it's on the sell side, and if the symbol matches what we're trading. If it does, then rather than canceling the order and sending a new one, it simply replaces the order with everything above, which is much faster. And so it just slides that order up to wherever the new pricing is. And then I put into the message log, just replace, just so you can see what's going on. If that wasn't to pass, then it's going to do the old way of canceling any sell orders for this symbol, and it's going to resend the order. And then if for some reason this wasn't an object, so if there's no last order, so if it's the first order of the day, then it's just going to create the very first order, but it's going to run a cancel all just in case. And then I added a play sound in here as well. So what this does is, as long as you put this file into your DOS folder, in Windows, it will play that sound. I have it coming out of the speaker. You can create a variable for this and change it to headphones, and have a button that toggles it from speaker to headphones. For this example, I'm just showing you speaker. And then share stop basically means share the play sound. So it's not going to wait for what's already playing. If there's another sound, it's actually going to interrupt whatever's currently playing and play it over top of whatever's playing. So it shuts down whatever noises are going on and plays this over top, so we make sure we hear it. And that's all there is to that. So that's the sell trailing execute script. And then we've got a sell trailing middle. And so if you recall, this is what I've got this cell trailing middle button connected to. And so when you click that, it sets the shares to sell at the position from the montage and it rounds it to 2 decimals. You might want to change the rounding if you're trading penny stocks. Price to sell, it's going to take the average cost, so whatever we bought it at, and it's going to add the difference between the ask and the average cost divided by 2 or times 0.5. So if we bought it at 10 and it's at 10.50, then our price to sell is 10.25, halfway up. And then we're just going to round it to make sure that, because we're doing some of this, you could end up with more than one or more than 2 decimal places. So we're just making sure we round it in this case. And then we're calling cell trailing execute, which then does exactly what we just said. It just continues on and does this. And so by breaking these up, the point of this is so that I don't have to have all this code in 2 files. I can basically have the execution code in 1 file, have the middle execution there, and then have a top execution. And the only difference is it's basically, instead of splitting the difference, it's going up 75% of the price action, and it's putting it so it's trailing by 25%. And you can, of course, create as many of these as you want, change that to 90%, and then it's basically going to trail by 10% behind the price. You can also just, if you really want to tighten it up, just sell, right? Sell on the bid or sell on the ask, it's going to be a lot tighter than this, but this allows the stock to have a little bit of room so that the stock can still kind of fluctuate a little bit. But if it drops, at least it's dropping into a sell order that you can gain profit from, versus watching something where you're in profit and all of a sudden it drops straight into a loss and then you're wishing you would have just sold. And if you've been trading for any length of time, I know you've suffered that pain. So we'll go back here. Again, I'm in replay mode because it's way after hours. So I'm going to, this is the, so this is Intel. Intel just came out with earnings today. I did pretty good on it. So, this is a good one to kind of show what I'm talking about here. So I'm just going to resume this and we're going to buy on the ask. So we've got some price action going here. If I say sell trailing middle, it puts my order in there. You heard the little noise. And now I've got something sitting there. So if it drops through that, we've got our profit. So the downside is do I want to get back in, right? And so if I decide to get back in, we're back in. I'm going to cancel that. That's to do with my my stops here. I'm just going to set my stops. That was another video. So set the stops at the bottom of this bar, just so they're not interfering with what we're doing here. And so I haven't clicked any buttons. We're just watching, right now, profit. I'm up to $2.26 a share, unrealized. So we're just sitting here. Again, the unrealized isn't working because we're using the replay mode. Some things don't work. But here I can see I'm unrealized a couple $100. So again, if I'm worried about this falling through my purchase price here, I can say sell trailing middle and it'll split the difference. So I can open this up a little bit and there it got me out because it was dropping down. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Do it again. So I'm going to buy this dip, buy on the ask. We're going to wait. I have hindsight, so I know this price goes a lot higher. So we're going to trail middle. We can click trail middle again. It'll keep going up as long as the math works out that it's going higher than it was before. So if I'll just speed this up a little bit. So sell trailing middle, sell trailing middle. I can trail it up a little bit tighter. There, see it drop through. So, we're buying the dips. We're ensuring profit once we get into profit. So I'm going to buy on the ask again. And here we're going to trail middle, and just keep clicking it. As long as it keeps going higher, we're good. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. And then it sold because it dropped down. So you can see how this can ensure profit. I'm up $270 using 100 shares. I have the advantage of knowing what the stock's going to do. But even without that, as soon as you get into profit, you can click that button. And I use this in my day trading all the time. It works great. It definitely makes me a more profitable trader. So I think that if you apply that to your trading, trading's still risky. Trade in the sim, test all this in the sim. The code is on the website. There'll be a link in the description. If you haven't already, I know a lot of people have watched these videos. It'd be great if you could subscribe. I try to put them out as often as I can find time to do so, as long as people seem interested and there's comments and thumbs up. I feel like it's a worthwhile effort to share what I've learned with coding and DOS with everybody out there. So throw some comments below. Let me know what you think of these videos. And if you're going to use any of this code, again, make sure that you use it in a simulator. Make sure you've tested it thoroughly yourself. And trading's risky. I wouldn't say that this guarantees any sort of profit. It just gives you an extra little bit of an edge to make sure that if you are in a trade that looks like it's in profit, you can at least try and lock in some of that profit before it's quickly taken away. So until next time.